John Lithgow, you have played a lot of crazy characters in your life, but Arthur Mitchell on Dexter is the ultimate lunatic. This guy is not only a killer and bloodthirsty, but normally when we see these kinds of roles, they're lone wolves. This guy has a family, and he tortures them psychologically. And this guy's foe happens to be another serial killer. I mean, set up this whole your perspective on Arthur Mitchell, because it was certainly one of the definitive roles in American television this past year. It was wow.
Well, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, you're right. I mean, what's so sinister about Arthur Mitchell is how he does fit in. He's just ordinary Arthur Mitchell. He's a good family man, a church deacon. He's even a junior high school teacher, for heaven's sakes. He interacts with kids. He builds homes for the poor. The first you see of him, he's doing something so completely appalling. He's murdering a young woman in a bathtub. But the next time you see him, he's a completely ordinary, almost sweet-natured person. And the contrast between those two aspects of his nature is what's so terrifying. Just even the thought that somebody so kind of open and affable might have that lurking and hidden inside him is a terrifying thought. Unfortunately, it's all too true. There are serial killers that do pass among us. And it's an extremely troubling idea, and I think that's at the heart of it. In fact, it's at the heart of the entire series Dexter, because Michael Hall pulls off his own variation on this theme.
But he's a good serial killer going after bad serial killers. So yes. The matchup between you two is so great, because this your character has all these sinister manifestations, but I still think the creepiest thing about your role is the fact that you have this family around you, and we get glimpses of the terror of your loved ones who cannot escape this, who must accept the fact that they're living with a monster under the same roof.
Well, and there again, I mean, this is an experience all of us have on some level. You know, people are not always what they seem. To me, the scariest episode of this season of Dexter was the Thanksgiving dinner, because it's not unlike a lot of family Thanksgiving dinners where there are dark hidden agendas all around the table. People aren't really saying what they mean until suddenly it flashes out. It's like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf or something, except in this case, what's at stake is murder.
And also, he's this minister, as you say. He's got this fixation about being washed in the blood of the Lamb, and when you add these religious components, it makes his devilish nature all the more terrifying.
Well, not only religious, but I think he's such a tormented soul. I mean, to me, that was what was fascinating about playing the part, is he's a serial killer who does not want to be a serial killer. He wants somebody to stop him. To me, that was, to the extent that there's any redemption in this character at all, it's that he wants to be stopped. He wants Dexter to stop him. So of all of Dexter's victims in the course of this whole series, the Trinity Killer is the one who actually wants him to do away with him. He doesn't want to do what he's doing. He's driven to do it. And he knows how evil it is. He knows how appalling it is. He has to reenact the ritual of his own childhood trauma, and he wants it to end. You know, the character that Keith Haring plays, the serial killer Hunter, he's very upset when he's killed. Trinity Killer is very upset when he loses Agent Lundy, because Agent Lundy was going to put an end to all this. At least that was my subtext, my backstory as I played the part. Somebody please stop me. When I buy the hammer in the hardware store, I want that young man to say, don't do this. You know, that's how I played every single scene. In every case, it was Arthur Miller begging someone to stop him, including his victims, you know. It made it a fascinating role psychologically. And I think that's what makes it so compelling, is it's not like any killer you've ever seen.
The writing of the role and the plot line was so brilliant too, and we have to scream out spoiler alert here, but the season finale was one of the greatest hours of TV period, where finally when you and Dexter go at it and he kills you, you as a viewer live through this traumatic TV scene, and you think that's all done, and then you go home and you see this. I think the greatest compliment you can give a great movie or a TV show is that it has a logical surprise. And when he comes home and finds his wife dead and his infant son in this mirrored situation from him as a boy that turned him into a serial killer, that the whole setup there was operatic. It was so brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, I can only imagine you reading that script thinking, wow, what an ending.
No, we didn't have it in the script. They wrote a fake ending. They kept
really?
this.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was completely secret. It was sort of word spread among us. Oh my God, Rita, the Trinity Killer is going to leave a dead body as a calling card, even after he's dead. I mean, they kept that from us.
Huh.
The secrecy around that set was, puts the CIA to shame.
So what did you think when you saw it?
We didn't know. I mean, it sort of crept up on us bit by bit. I remember we did the table reading of the final script, and we read it right through to the end. And I went to Michael and I said, well, it was pretty good, but I was a little let down by the ending. And Michael looked at me like, I mean, really, they kept it that secret. Amazing.
Wow. That's so ironic that you did.
And they broke it to Julie Benz very, very gently.
Oh, of course.
She didn't know till the very last minute.
Wow. And then what was your reaction when you saw it all put together?
Oh my God, it was thrilling. I second the motion. You've complimented the writing and the storytelling of the series. I was just thrilled by it. Clyde Phillips is the showrunner and the head writer of that season, and his whole team of writers. They just did a brilliant job. You have to watch those 12 episodes so attentively, because the little clues they drop, with the intention that nobody will pick them up. Sure. They're so expertly laid in. Every big surprise, and there are about 4 or 5 huge surprises, every one of them has little markers, little tells earlier on, but you don't notice them at all as they pass by. They're so clever.
You mentioned the 12 episodes, and that brings us to the controversy of your positioning at the Emmys, your decision to go guest acting. You could have chosen to go in the supporting slot, but you had the option to go guest because that's how you were billed. The Emmy rules are that flexible. And I understand that you made the conscious decision to go guest because you felt you really are a guest on the series. Is that true, or why was that decision made?
Yeah, I do feel like a guest on the series. I mean, the core group, the company of actors, those are the lead actors on Dexter. And I didn't really give that much thought to it. It was more or less them counseling me and them thinking that was a better way to position me. And I always felt like I was passing through. I mean, all of the big bads are on Dexter.
You were the series this year, though. Come on. You were in every episode, and you rejuvenated the series. And in a way, did this series rejuvenate your career? I imagine it had to, right?
Well, it was certainly something that people hadn't seen for a long time, or that people had long since forgotten. I played my share of psychopathic villains, but the nice thing is the last one was about a dozen years ago, and in the intervening years along came Third Rock from the Sun, and I was kind of this loopy, affable buffoon. It's very nice to sort of switch gears, and it's like an emotional shell game. It's the last thing people expected from me. And boom, it happens in the first 30 seconds of the series. There I am, this bloodthirsty monster. It couldn't have been more different and more of a surprise.